Why Alaska for a honeymoon? Well, to answer that, I'd have to go back a handful of years to the last time the only time I was there prior to this, and that was for work. I was up there as a wildland firefighter, and during that summer, got to see so much of the interior of Alaska from the sky and from the ground, and really just fell in love with the vast landscape from the swamps to the wide braided rivers all the way into the alpine and snowy peaks. And ever since then, I've just really wanted to get back there to enjoy the state with a little bit of a less intense pace, a little more time to stop, enjoy the views, and smell the roses. And so here this last spring, my now wife Sadie and I were planning our wedding and thinking about honeymoon options, considering the standard warm sunny beaches and different things. But we ended up deciding, you know what, why not Alaska? When we've got the flexibility that we do now, the pandemic's still going on, and we had both been talking ever since we met about getting back up there. And so we booked our tickets and started getting our gear ready to head up to Alaska for 16 days. And I called up one of my old friends who lives up in the area, and he offered to let us stay in his little cabin by his house to kick the trip off. And then his mom graciously offered her truck for us to use as well. So we kind of had a little setup to kick us off, and not a whole lot planned beyond that. So just the way we like it. And it turned into the trip of a lifetime.
Made it to Alaska.
Good one's Kreiner's Diner. They got the best burger I've ever had here. Like lemon days total.
Hey! Hi, pretty.
Look at those mountains. Right there.
Okay, everybody. What? Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Holy moly.
It's a heck of a spot.
I know.
What a cool little...
Such a good addition to a bachelor
Airbnb
party.
this thing out?
I
You
would,
should.
but I just don't know how I feel about being here with God.
Drop it. Good girl. You ready? Here we are. We're in Alaska. Just got here yesterday actually, and we're kicking off our honeymoon. We got married about a week ago now, but Just got up here yesterday, flew into Anchorage, met up with a buddy of mine, Blake, and he kind of showed us around a little bit. We hung out for the day, got some dinner, went to his parents' place, and hung out there, and we've just been kind of bumming around. And then today we decided to cruise down to Seward to kind of check out the coastal area, go down to the ocean, maybe hike around a little bit, and then see some glaciers, wildlife, whatever, and kind of meet the weather as well. It looked like it was going to get rainy by tomorrow evening, so it's a little cloudy. Things are rolling in, but yeah, cruise down here, beautiful day, and then we went and grabbed some dinner. Well, actually 2 different dinners. We went to one place and we shared a meal, and it wasn't overly fulfilling, and so we went to another place, which is actually a decent little strategy. If you have 2 people, instead of getting 2 meals at one place, you can try more places by just splitting meals at different venues. So yeah, got some seafood in us, and then now we found a little trail that we're gonna go, I think, hike out tonight and see how far we feel like going. It doesn't get dark really, so we could go as long as we want to, but there's a trail that goes out kind of on the coast out there, and I guess there's some viewpoints out there, so I think we're gonna go camp out there. Yeah, who knows what's to come, but we have another 14 days to go, and so we're starting at the ocean. We're going to work our way up north in the next week, and hopefully get some backpacking in, get some, well, yeah, whatever we feel like. So. Feet towards your back.
Is this the front?
things clear. If you choose.
Use your brake. There you go. Use your heels too. Nice.
What our love could be. You belong here.
You gonna stop or what? Yeah, you coated me with snow.
I belong here. I belong with you. Every day here always feels so new. It's amazing what your love can do. I belong here with you.
Here we go. We'll see how far we make it tonight. Hoping for about maybe 10, 12, 14 miles or so. We'll see. Got our first dose of bugs here. Bugs have not been bad at all, which is so surprising for me. I came up expecting them to be what they were last time I was here, and they haven't been bad. I think I only have like 2 bug bites so far. So cross our fingers. Maybe it's just this coastal. I don't know, it's so wet. Seems like there'd be a lot. Anyway, get back to hiking.
We belong here. We belong together. Here's my heart, dear. You can keep forever. If you're wondering where your home should be, you belong here with me. So come
Nice. Camp for the night.
Good.
Little bear box.
Awesome.
we belong.
Look at this.
Wow. And this was the final day of our backpacking trip. We did the Resurrection Pass Trail from south to north. Ended up being, I think, right around 46 miles. And it was absolutely beautiful. We lucked out, great weather. Just a beautiful, beautiful hike through just a massive valley and following water the whole time, and saw bear along the way and plenty of cool wildflowers and wildlife. And at the end, we linked up with a backpacker that we had actually passed going the opposite direction, and he gave us a ride back down to our truck on the other end, so it worked out just right. And then we hopped in the truck and headed north towards Denali National Park. But first we stopped in Talkeetna, which is a small town south of Denali. That was the home base for legendary bush and alpine pilot Don Sheldon and many, many others. And so we just hung out there for the afternoon and talked to some locals and started to come up with the game plan for our next few days. And while we were there, we got to swing into the once hangar of Don Sheldon himself and got a little tour from one of his relatives. Got to learn a little bit more about his story, which was just incredible. I had been given the book Wager with the Wind that was about his life prior to going to Alaska, and had just finished it. So it was just really cool to see the spot and just see some of the artifacts from the man himself. And after that, we headed north, found a spot to camp, and cruised up past Denali the next morning to do a little horseback ride. I didn't tell Sadie we were going. She's a huge horse lover, and so surprised her, and we had a blast out on these huge horses out walking through the tundra just north of Denali Park. No kidding. We made it up and found a campsite right near the entrance of Denali and went for a little walk that night. Saw moose, beaver, a bunch of different little animals. And then the next morning we went to buy our bus passes for the tour inside of the park because Denali is so huge. The only way you can actually see the inside is via the bus. And didn't have any tickets left for that day, so we bought some for the following and decided to go for a little hike on a local peak just to the north side of the park itself and see some of the views. And it was just such a gorgeous day that we wanted to make use of it.
Take a look at where you've been and how you've come so far. No matter where you find yourself, you're always where you are. Go anywhere you go, do anything you do, I'll be with you. Take a moment, take an hour, take another year. Start again or keep going, I'll always be right here. Feel anything you feel, hear anything you hear, you'll never disappear. When it feels like you're walking back, when you're out of luck and off the path, broken and far from home, just remember that you're not alone. Trying not to dig too deep, afraid of what you'll find. Give yourself the grace you show me all the time. 'Cause when you love yourself, you can give that love to someone else. Mornings come and seasons go, and life can get so hard. It's easy to forget the things that make you.
And the water really is just always about this much water. But as the material builds up, then the water tends to overflow, and so new braids get created every day. And so they're ever changing, and so that's why there's no vegetation that gets established on these big flat valley floors. But as far as the water level itself, pretty much pretty standard. It looks just like that throughout most of the summer, except after a real heavy rain, which I understand we might get a little bit of that this afternoon.
Feeling like you're on your own. In that moment you can't control. Just remember that you're not alone. Remember that you're not alone.
Mostly as
buzzard.
Oh, this is a straight ice. That's the baby right there.
It's like it's scratching itself on the bush again. That's these, the doll sheep rams, yeah. And again, they got the big full curl to their horns.
The next day, after our Denali bus ride, we headed back down south. We met up with Buddy Blake again, and he was taking us fishing with his girlfriend and her family. They have a boat, and so took us out to Homer, Alaska, and we started a 2-day fishing adventure.
Okay, how much do we think this thing weighs? I'm gonna guess 22.
We had an awesome couple days of fishing. It was a good mix of sunny and rainy, foggy, all sorts of different weather, and caught halibut, all sorts of different fish, even a little shark. And then I think the coolest part of the whole entire fishing trip was something that Sadie had been dreaming about the whole time, and that was seeing a whale. She had been out whale watching before and never even seen one, and so this one just happened upon us while we were out fishing, and it just cruised in a line straight towards the boat and then passed right by in front of us, and Sadie was losing her mind. It was pretty amazing.
Oh, I see him. Whoa.
Oh, that's
So high.
We had a blast for the couple days of fishing that we got in, and then after that we headed back towards Anchorage for our final couple days. And the whole time we had been thinking about getting a flight tour around the area, but hadn't quite wanted to pull the trigger. And then Blake once again hooked us up with phenomenal experience. He had a friend locally, Josh, who was a pilot, and he linked us up with him, so we cruised over to his house and got to check out his airplanes, and then we got to go on the flight of our lives up to, well, just keep watching.
Up between a couple of guys. It's you need to do so every 100 hours the plane puts on, you got to do maintenance. Once a year, there's annual maintenance you've got to do. So the rear seat here is just like your standard airliner as seat belts go. It's just a lap belt.
Okay.
And then in the front, we're gonna have like a 4-point harness.
Yeah, after taking off, he pointed towards the west and kind of asked us where we wanted to go, and mentioned that Denali might be an option, and so we turned northward and went that way. And the whole way up, he was just swerving around, showing us the cool sights in the valley. And then as we were approaching the mountain, because the weather there is quite unpredictable, we weren't quite sure if we'd be able to slip in there, but fortunately he found some space, and we slipped in between some rainstorms and ended up just having the most magnificent view of Denali. We flew right into the base, through the massive rock walls over the glaciers, and we were even able to cruise up over the ridge to the drainage that has the Sheldon Amphitheater sitting right at the top, named after Don Sheldon, and the Sheldon Chalet. And we even saw some climbers down inside. It was wild. We were just jaw-dropped the entire time, and felt like such a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Well, it was. And we are very grateful to Josh for flying us around. Thanks for tagging along on our adventure in Alaska. Hope you enjoyed. I know we're excited to watch this every year and remember our maybe favorite trip ever together. And if you are thinking about making a trip to Alaska, I highly recommend it. There is so much to be seen. I know you could spend a lifetime up there just exploring, and we sure hope to be back to do a little bit more ourselves.